have to be honest with you. I've watched a lot of finales in my time. And what the Gilded Age just did in Season 3, that wasn't just an ending. That was a knife wrapped in silk. We thought we were walking into a ballroom. Instead, we walked into a battlefield. Let me start with a personal confession. I've been rooting for George and Bertha Russell since episode 1. They've been the power couple you couldn't help but admire. Him, the unshakable tycoon. Her, the unstoppable social force. But in this finale, something snapped. And I'm not talking about a tiny crack you can glue back together. I'm talking about a clean break. The kind you hear. Tell me, did you feel it too? That moment, after the ball, when George and Bertha looked at each other and there was nothing, no warmth, no partnership, just cold, polite distance. It's the kind of silence that doesn't happen overnight. It's the kind of silence that's been building for months, maybe years. And here's the part that nobody's saying out loud. If this show is about to mirror real history, then this could be the beginning of the end for the Russells. The real-life inspiration for Bertha, Alva Belmont, did divorce her husband, and not quietly either. So if we're following that path, George and Bertha aren't just heading for a rough patch. We might be heading for a public, scandalous implosion. But here's what's keeping me up at night. George isn't just losing Bertha. He's losing himself. That opium pipe? That wasn't a one-off scene for shock value. That was a warning, a seed planted, and seeds grow. Tell me, I'm wrong, but doesn't it feel like the writers are teasing a full-blown addiction storyline for George in Season 4? We've seen it before in dramas like this. The mighty fall fastest when they can't stop chasing a high, whether that's power, love, or smoke. And that brings us to the real pain point here. This isn't just about a marriage falling apart. It's about a family crumbling in real time. Gladys, poor Gladys. She didn't just lose a father figure at this ball. She lost the only semblance of stability she's ever known. And don't tell me you didn't notice the way Bertha was watching her, almost as if she's already preparing Gladys to take her side in the split. That's the kind of silent, invisible tug-of-war that scars a family for life. Now let's be clear. I'm not just here to recap what happened. I'm here to tell you the secrets and forbidden knowledge hidden in this finale. And here's the first one. This ball wasn't a celebration. It was a stage. Every handshake, every champagne toast, every whispered conversation. All of it was a performance meant to hide the fact that the Russell Empire is cracking from within. You saw it with Peggy, too. Finally, she's in love. Finally, she's about to get married to William, and then, bam, a brick wall in the shape of his mother. And let me tell you, I have been there. Okay, maybe not in a 19th century New York drawing room, but trust me, I've met the modern equivalent of a mother-in-law like that. The smile is polite, but the eyes are a firing squad. And if you think William's mother is just a one-episode obstacle, think again. That woman is going to be the shadow standing between Peggy and her happiness for the entire next season. Mark my words. She's not going to attack Peggy directly. Oh no, she's going to do it the old money way, with whispers, with snubs, with invitations that never arrive. Now, before I go further into the hidden messages in this finale, I need to say this once and only once. If you're watching this right now, you're already part of the inner circle that sees through the polite smiles and ball gowns to the power plays underneath. And if you want to stay in that circle, you need to hit subscribe to Breakpoint. Not because I'm asking, because the truth in shows like this hides fast, and I'll make sure you don't miss it. Back to the fire. Oscar Van Ryn. I have never seen a man unravel so fast and so quietly. The death of John Adams didn't just break his heart, it broke his entire identity. And I know I said this in our mid-season breakdown. Remember? I warned you Oscar was heading toward a dark spiral, and here we are. The man's not eating, not sleeping, and if you looked closely in that dinner scene, his hands were shaking. Grief is one thing, but grief with power and money, that's dangerous. Because when people like Oscar have nothing left to lose, they start burning bridges and empires. And here's my theory. Oscar's downfall is going to be the catalyst for something much bigger in Season 4. Because every time a major player collapses, someone else rises to take their place. And I've got a chilling idea of who's going to fill that power vacuum. But I'll get to that in a minute. First, let's talk about Ward McAllister. Oh, Ward. You absolute fool. Publishing that book was like handing your own executioner the sword. Bertha's eyes when she read it? That wasn't anger. That was the kind of calm you see in someone who's already plotting your social death. And if you think Bertha Russell is dangerous when she wants something, imagine how dangerous she is when you've embarrassed her. Now here's where it gets juicy. And I mean forbidden knowledge, juicy. Ward isn't going to leave quietly. He's a gossip. He knows too much. And people who know too much, they don't fade into the background. They explode. And before we move on to the deeper theories, I want to know from you, right now, in the comments, whose downfall in this finale shocked you the most? George? Bertha? Oscar? Or are you like me and you think the real danger is still lurking off screen? Because trust me, the quiet ones are always the most dangerous.